Hello everyone. I feel like I should change that. Hello puzzle people, puzzle friends, puzzle pals. Hello puzzle pals. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and in today's video, I'm going to tell you about how I quit working on my 12,000 piece puzzle. Alright, so I didn't technically quit working on it, but I quit working on the section that I was working on. Let me explain. So let's just rewind a little bit. Back in January, I was at a thrift store and I saw a 12,000 piece Ravensburger puzzle and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to own that. But then I looked at it and I was like, I would never do that puzzle because it's literally all trees and I would never buy it brand new, but also like I need to own it because it's only $14.99 and when are you ever gonna find a $400 puzzle for $14? Never. So I bought it, I brought it home, I was all giddy, I showed it off on Instagram, I showed it off in my puzzle swap group on Facebook. It's not my puzzle swap group, it's just a group I'm part of. This is the best puzzle ever because I'm so excited about it. But I knew that I needed a long period of time to work on it and ideally some undisturbed time, so I put it away to open later on. Okay, so I got this puzzle. Let's just all picture for a minute. This giant 12,000 piece puzzle that's used. So in my head, I'm thinking this box, when I open it, is just going to be all 12,000 pieces, just like haphazardly mixed together. And it's gonna take me probably like a month to sort them. So in February, I was like, time to pull this sucker out. We'll sort pieces for 6 weeks and then we can begin puzzling. Let me tell you how that's not what happened. When I opened that puzzle box, the 4 quarters, the puzzle's like split up into 4 quarters that are just over 3,200 each. It's not quite a 12,000 piece, 12,600-ish, almost 13, but regardless. So I opened this box thinking I'm gonna have to like hunker down and start sorting 12,000 pieces, and lo and behold, 3 out of the 4 bags are completely sealed, like factory sealed. And the bag that is open has all the trees sorted, and it has the castle and the water already assembled. So I'm like, this is meant to be. The world wants me to make this puzzle happen. It's probably complete. And people who had this before me clearly put some effort into like keeping it nice. So this is exciting. My theory is let me start on the first section that's already been opened. That way, once I assemble the whole thing, I'll know if any of the puzzle is missing a piece or not. So that's what I did. I took it all apart, I resorted it, and then I started assembling. All right, so fast forward to, when is it now? April. The second week of March, right before quarantine happened, literally day 0, day -1, day before quarantine happened. Let me tell you about the temper tantrum that was thrown in my house. Because that temper tantrum, it only took one victim. And that victim was my puzzle, guys. Well, I guess there were 2 victims because that puzzle was like the puzzle that I had out that I was working on, and then I also had another puzzle that I was in the middle of sorting, and it was like all sorted in its sections, and that puzzle was now mixed together with my 12,000 piece, and it was all over, everywhere, like the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, the hallway. The mess was cleaned up. I took a week to just breathe. And then the next week I went to sit down in front of it and I got so overwhelmed and I removed myself. And then the next day, same thing. And the next day, and the next day. And for 2 weeks, I would try to work on this puzzle and I would either be overcome with emotion on how this was the hardest puzzle I've ever been working on and I have to now do it again. Or I would just sit down and have like giant panic attacks. I thought about it realistically, and what I would do when that were to happen is to take the puzzle apart, put it back in the box, put it on the shelf, and move on with my life. I'm really upset that I have to do this because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, no, like I don't want to, but like I know myself, and like right now I'm too emotionally involved in what's going on to be able to like sit there and reassemble. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, this is like all bad news. No, like, well, I mean, it's bad news, but also like it's past news. You've already learned all this because you follow me on Instagram, you watch my stories. If you don't, follow me on Instagram at PuzzleInProgress, watch my stories, specifically my highlight called 12,000 pieces. I'm just saying. I realized that what I would do is put the puzzle away. And part of what made me realize that was the fact that when I finally sorted out all the pieces for the smaller 1,000 piece I had been working on, I packed them all up and put it away, because that's what I would do. I was just too emotionally involved in that puzzle and I couldn't do it. And so I put it away. And I know myself, and I really didn't want to have to do that with this. But alas, I came to the conclusion that if I didn't put it away, I would just go mentally insane. I mean, I think the only kind of insane you can do is mental, but you know. And I would just never get any work on it. Like, it would just never get done. So I had to. I didn't have a choice, guys. So the other night, I pulled out a keepsake box that I had that was empty, and I took a bunch of plain old white paper, some masking tape, and some Ziploc bags, and I began packing it up. So first thing I did was lay a white piece of paper in the bottom of the box, put some of the assembled pieces onto it, then I just put a next one, and like I was making a lasagna of paper and puzzle pieces, I just kept on stacking. Once that was done, I took all the pieces that were sorted, because they weren't really sorted, they were just all mixed together again. And I quickly did my best to just like pull out the dark ones, or the light green, or the yellow, or the orange, or the whatever, and put those into bags so that when I do go back to that quarter, half the job is already, okay, it's not half, like an eighth of the job is already done for me. So I put it aside, and then I pulled out a different section of the puzzle, and that's what we're doing now. I started the other night sorting all the pieces to the new section. They all sorted way easier than the last one. This one has actually like sky and mountains and trees and water, whereas the last one was like just trees and like a sliver of castle and a sliver of water, and the rest was like trees. But this one, like, only a quarter of it is trees. So I technically didn't quit my puzzle, but I quit that section of my puzzle due to trauma. So basically I'm starting over. So here she is. This is the new section of the puzzle that I have started working on. This is the section I will continue to work on, and hopefully the first section that will be done in this puzzle, and fingers crossed I can do it before the end of the month. That is the big goal. Alright, so my question to you is, what is the most dramatic unfinished puzzle disaster you've had? And I say unfinished because, like, if you knock over a puzzle after it's done, I mean, it sucks, especially if you were gonna like glue it and frame it, but like you've already got that little bit of satisfaction from like snapping that last piece in place. But if you're not even done, and especially if you're close to done, my heart goes out to you, because all those feels, I feel them. And this one hurt a lot more because it wasn't a mistake I did to myself. Like, I've, you know, leaned on the board and flipped it or whatever, and my puzzle has been destroyed. But at the end of the day, I did that to my puzzle, so I have no one to blame but myself. But this was not me. And my puzzle fell victim. And it was heartbreaking. So, that's my update. A lot of you guys were asking about an update. It's not a very good one. It's basically an update saying we're starting all over again, but it is what it is. All right, guys, I will talk to you next time, hopefully in a much happier video. Okay, bye.